Blog Talk Radio.
Archangels, ghosts, and Bigfoot, oh my. It's just another night for Supernatural Girls. Real stories, real answers to life's biggest supernatural mysteries. And now for another exciting interview with paranormal experts from this world and others. Here's your host, paranormal researcher Patricia Baker, on the one, the only Supernatural Girls.
Welcome, everyone, to another exciting episode of Supernatural Girls Radio. I'm your host, Patricia Baker, and I'm here with my co-host all the way from Tucson, Patricia Kirkman. PK, how are you tonight?
We're just enjoying this lovely weather coming in from California. It should hit us by morning. Woohoo!
All right. Well, you guys
nice.
probably need it. You probably need a little rain.
Oh,
yeah.
God, yes.
Well, we have had bitter cold.
I feel
We've had
sorry
the
for you, sweetheart.
I know you should. The cold that kind of goes right through you. I have so many layers of clothing on right now. So this is typical in December. So anyways,
you look
said
like a little snowman.
I look like a little Eskimo. And, it's funny. I was talking to somebody at a local store, and they said, my grandfather always used to say we're one day closer to spring. And I thought, what a nice way to look at that. I'm going to start thinking that way. Very positive. Yes. But tell us now.
Wonderful.
That is wonderful. So tell us what's going on with the numbers. We've had, again, more roller coaster rides.
There's some nice things. The nicest part about all this is that it's a universal 5 months. So anything to do with the luck factor, that's riding high. Retrograde just is wrapping up, so I'm not going to worry about that so much. But people, please pay attention to your driving. This is the time when you're likely to get a nice little ticket, and nobody wants one of those because we drive faster without even thinking about it, and all of a sudden we see that little man standing by his motorcycle with his little pad of paper, and he's got your name on it. That's a no-no. But the other part of this is, if you're anywhere that they're having a drawing of any sort, put your name in the kitty, because in a 5 months you stand a better chance of winning than at any other time except for a 3. 3s and 5s. Wow. This is your 5 universal month. Get your name out there, folks. You might be the lucky winner.
That sounds good. That sounds
good.
very exciting around this time of year to have some extra money coming in, huh?
Well, and what makes it really nice right now, this month is really great for meeting friends, setting things up to just sit and exchange conversation, a little bit of food, trade off a little bit of the goodies, the cookies and fudge and the punch. That's that time of year. But it gives you a good chance to just sit, relax, and enjoy one another. The 5 is all about sharing and caring. So we're going to have a few extra pounds when the month is over. So what? As long as the digestion stays in shape, we got it made. But there's a lot of creativity going on this month. So, gosh, just take advantage of anything you can, because you're going to want to make a change. You're going to want to do something different. And if you get an idea that all of a sudden you're going to change your dress style, go for it. Maybe at the end of the month you'll change your mind and want to go back to being plain Jane. But for right now, if you decide you want to be Auntie Mame, go for it.
Okay, Auntie Mame always had so much fun. She knew how to live, did she not? Gosh.
Oh, God, yes.
This sounds good. All right, so we've got some very, very interesting things coming up. And I also wanted to mention that after our show tonight at 10 o'clock Eastern Time and 7 o'clock Pacific Time, I'm going to be going on the show Dancing with Ghosts. And the reason why I was invited on the show is because of our interview with Elena Manis, where her dog Brio, who had passed away, decided to join us. So the producer of Dancing with Ghosts heard our tape and heard the dogs barking and also some other noise in the background. Because we were so busy interviewing Elena, we kind of knew there was something in the background besides the dog barking, but he's enhanced it, and he's going to be playing that tonight on Dancing with Ghosts. Yeah, so be sure to catch that if you want to hear that. Yeah, and then I'll be posting it again so you can hear it in its enhanced version tomorrow. Very exciting stuff always on Supernatural Girls. The paranormal just walks right in and sits down next to us. That's just how it is here.
Hey, listen, we expect the unexpected. That's what it is.
We do, as we're open to it. And tonight we have a great guest, Margaret Ann Lembo. She's going to join us in just a few minutes, and she is the queen of crystals. She's going to be talking to us about crystals, crystal grids, gem essences, all of these wonderfully magical things that she's been working with for many, many years. So we'll bring her on in just a little while. And I also wanted to mention, again, a big thank you to Andrea Hess, who joined us last week, the creator of Soul Realignment. A very powerful show. A lot of people contacted us afterwards about the training that you can do with Andrea, as well as the private sessions with me. And it's been an exciting time. And it's fun to play with what she said, which is if you're not getting results, then you have to look at your alignment. And if you're out of alignment, the results will not be there. And I thought that's a great way to look at all of this. And
that's
it's
true.
less, because then it's less kind of airy-fairy. It's more grounded. And it gives you a lot of direction. I mean, I had a funny thing happen the other day where I only had a couple of minutes, and I ran into a store, and I thought, oh, my God, I need to get a white turtleneck. It's so cold, and I need something up around my neck, and I didn't have a lot of time to go searching through the store, so I just turned around, and there it was. I mean, it was that easy, and that's what Andrea spoke about, is having it be easy, and when you're in your own soul's alignment, things get easy. So this is what I wish for everybody that we know and our entire audience. It makes a big difference. So if you missed that show, you can go back in the archives and hear it again. It's there, and it's wonderful information.
I was just going to suggest that. Oh. And not only just that archive, but we've got some others that people may want to take a look back at, because there's so much information in our archives. My gosh.
I know.
Somebody commented today they couldn't believe what we have available for everybody.
Oh, yeah. We've got a very wide variety. And also, I want to mention, for everybody, now that we're coming to the end of the year, if you want to know what things are going to look like for you for next year, make sure that you contact PK at patriciakirkman.com. You can also find PK on our website, supernaturalgirls.com. You can schedule a private session, and PK also offers classes. So there's a lot of possibilities there for you to learn about your own personal numbers, and PK is the person to talk to about all of that. It's great information. So, again, make sure that you go to our Facebook page, and if you're not following us, you need to follow us there, because we've always got great stories going on, and so many UFO sightings lately. Canada.
Oh, boy, haven't there been.
UK. Oh, my God. I mean, they're everywhere. And now we're getting reports from pilots. Again, pilots in Canada are talking about things that they saw in the sky. So, and this is just what you said, PK, was going to happen, that more and more of these things were going to show up, and they are. So, once again, you're right. I can't wait to
see what we're going to find out come February.
Oh, really? Is that the next?
Secrets. There's going to be some secret made known to us in February that we're not even counting on. It's going to come out of the blue. And I think that's going to be really neat, because right now we've got all this change going on, information being given to us, and too many people are running around tongue-in-cheek thinking, well, hang on to your hats, folks. It's coming, and those in power can't deny it anymore.
All right. Well, this is going to be a very exciting time then come February. And it's an exciting time right now, too. So one of the stories also, woohoo is right, on our Facebook page is about the Black Angels. The Black Angel statues, which I didn't even know anything about until I saw this great article on Mysterious Universe. And I was very surprised to see this, because, of course, people attribute all kinds of curses and things like that, which, I take all of that with a grain of salt. However, they did also talk about paranormal investigations that had taken place at this one site. Now, this was in Iowa, at a cemetery there. And what they found were a lot of anomalies, temperature anomalies, within the statue itself. Now, this statue is like 8.5 feet tall, and it was not originally black in color. It was a metal color, but all of a sudden it oxidized like literally overnight. And it really captured people's imagination. So they started to have all kinds of thoughts to what was really going on and what happens if you touch it or kiss it or whatever. But again, what I was most interested in is the temperature variations, because there was no explanation for that. So take a look at that article on our website, courtesy of Mysterious Universe. Be sure to read it, and there's pictures also, very interesting pictures of the black angels. There's more than one. They've been designed by different artists, but they all seem to have their own energy to them and quite a bit of power to them. So take a look on our page. You'll also see all the UFO stuff. And I wanted to get back to everybody and say we're still following that very strange New Mexico story. We don't have any more information yet, but as of today, the man who died on the White Sands Trail, his identity has still not been released. Still. For months now.
Amazing.
So what in the world is going on? And again, the sheriff in that town where the observatory was shut down is still pretty mad about the way everything was handled, but there is no more information coming out. So I think we hit the nail on the head about the escaped alien and also this poor guy that passed away. They're obviously covering something up, let's face it. Otherwise, that man's identity would have been released. Oh, yeah, we know that. And you saw that in the numbers the first time you looked at the numbers of all of it, too.
You know, there's something I want to make mention of, and just for people to think about. This year, for the first time that I've ever been aware of it, the Christmas trees that they're coming out with now, a black Christmas tree.
I saw
Did you know that?
What is that? Yes, I saw pictures. I was very surprised.
I saw it. I went, I don't believe it.
Why?
But it'll make things stand out more. I'm thinking, here we are at a time of blessings in Christ in the future, and they're coming out with the black Christmas tree. Boy, I wonder who discovered that little baby.
Yeah, whose idea was that? Who knows? Gosh, it's strange. Well, we are living in very unusual times, that is for sure. My gosh, but so. We're gonna get everything under control right now because we have a terrific guest, as I mentioned. We have Margaret Ann Lembo, all the way from South Florida, sunny South Florida, and she is here to talk to us about crystals. Now, she's a noted and sought-after author and speaker with close to 30 years of experience. She's also the creator of a line of award-winning Aroma-Energetic Sprays, including Smudge In Spray and the 7 Chakra Sprays. She's a spiritual entrepreneur and practitioner, aromatherapist, and the owner of the Crystal Garden, a bookstore, gift store, and spiritual center in Southeast Florida. So, Margaret, welcome to the show.
Well, thank you, Pat and PK, for having me on.
Well, it's our pleasure because, this is one of our favorite subjects in the whole wide world, and here you are to enlighten us. Now, please tell us how you got involved with the world of crystals.
Well, the universe decided, I want to say, as odd as that sounds or doesn't sound, I was a mortgage banker for many years, and in 1987 the stock market crashed. And I was in upper management, senior management. So when that market crashed, my job was eliminated, and I had to figure out what I was going to do. And I opened my store at that time, in the meantime, until I could get a job. Well, that meantime has been 30 years now because I opened my store in 88. But the year prior, as if it was a little hors d'oeuvre or prelude, if you will, I had invested with friends in the purchase of quartz crystals.
Oh, Did we lose you?
And my headphone disconnected, so hang on.
Okay. I'll make sure
And
you're still
you lost Crystal on that one, okay?
that was a dramatic pause. I talked with my hands and I pulled my headphone out. Anyway, and so I always like dramatic pauses. Anyway, so what that did is it started the energy of the crystals in my life. You know, I was brought up with the power of positive thought, with the idea of everything that's involved that's considered metaphysical, although because it was normal, we didn't call it that. It just was part of our lives, you know. Whether it was reading an astrology, it is. Mm-hmm. It's a wonderful thing. You know, I was born and raised Catholic, but we didn't have any blinders on, so that helped, you know.
Yeah. It's contagious. I'm called a renegade Catholic, but it's okay.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's a spiritual foundation, and then there's so many other facets of spirituality that can enhance our experience here on planet Earth while we get to be here.
So you've been involved with this for 30 years, and now how did you learn about all of these things? Did you end up teaching yourself? Did you end up learning from other people in the field? How did you master this?
Well, I between reading books, and back then there was only 2 authors that I read their information, and then I taught myself. So just to give credit where credit is due, Katrina Raphael's books and Diane Stein's books were very inspiring. Plus, I also trained with Marcel Vogel in 91, and that added another layer of understanding. Then my work with chakras and color, I've always been involved with the world of color and using color and the power of positive thought as a form for mindfulness, of creating reality, of drawing in and attracting what it is that I want to create in my life for the highest good for all. So it's it all meshed together because crystals are amplifications of colors, and they align with, with the chakras. And, my first book was Chakra Awakening. So this is all, It all kind of evolved, and I hear when I write. So when it's time to write about a subject or something, it kind of comes to me, and it's almost as if it's being dictated, but in a very common and easy way. It's very nice. I feel very lucky and blessed.
Yes, it sounds that way. Yeah. So now, do you teach people in your store? Do you have classes there, or do you do them online? How do you work with people with this?
Yes, and all of those things. So I've traveled. I've been on national book tour for a number of years. Not recently. I'm going to go out this year again in 2019 to Denver and the Boston area. But typically in my own store, I've been doing training since the early 90s. And which is interesting. In the beginning, I remember thinking, who do I think I am? How do I know this? But I knew what I knew, and I just followed my the basics from what I learned from these basic books that I had read. But also then I feel like I remembered, if you will, this information and allowed it to come through me and combined it with all of the facets. And that's a pun intended because we're talking about gems. All of the facets of working with crystals and minerals and stones for enhancing one's life and designing the reality. Power of positive thought was the most important aspect of my teachings that I teach, but also what I learned. I learned also from the Edgar Cayce Association of Research and Enlightenment in the early days. And here, all these years later, they carry all my books and decks and products and essential oils. It's a wonderful thing how the full circle turns,
It is. It is. You have so many products to offer. And I'm sure one enhances the other, so you end up with a terrific amplification. But tell us about the grids. Now, the crystal grids are very interesting. How do you work with those, and what do you recommend to our audience?
Well, I like to keep things very basic and grounded. So the easy way that is like super easy is decide on an intention of why you want to create a grid. So let's say you want to create a grid to increase feeling loved and being loved and experiencing companionship and good friends and family. So then you pick the gemstones that might associate with that, and I'll just name a few because I'm talking about it. So rose quartz is always good for attracting, good feelings and good energy and love. And sapphires or dark blue stones like lapis lazuli or iolite or sodalite are good for loyalty and integrity and being in wisdom. And clear quartz is an amplification. It amplifies the energy. So let's say we just pick those three. Those are the three that came to mind as I, talk here. And then you can take those gemstones and put them around your home or a given room, or create what I like to call little altars everywhere, just because I love the title of that book, Little altars everywhere, where you take and you put a grouping of stones. It doesn't have to be geometrically placed, although that's fun and fine to do. But you can just have like a countertop or a windowsill or your desk. Like my desk has got so many crystals on it. And I just really I feel like I should do a video. I'd have to dust though of what's on my desk and do a class just on everything that's on my desk. But the idea is that each gemstone has an intention or a reason why it's on my desk or why it's on a windowsill. And that brings about mindfulness. It reminds me to stay focused on what I do want, not what I don't want. And that's what I recommend to everyone, is utilizing these as tools, these compilation of gemstones, whether they're arranged geometrically or not, as a reason to realign consciousness, to stay focused on your intentions and all that's good. And then you're happy, because then life is easy. And it reminds me of what you were saying about your prior guest. I missed her name, but the soul alignment guest. That's exactly what this work. Yes, same thing. Yes. Only we're adding crystals to it. The same thing. Life becomes easy. In fact, I just replaced the batteries in my easy button. Remember the easy button from Staples years ago? I have one of those.
Yeah.
So I had to put I had to get my batteries in there so I could press that button.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, when you talk about putting these crystals on your desk, are you talking also about arranging them in a geometric form? What do you suggest for people? And you talked about companionship, love in life. That's a big thing. People want that. They want to feel wanted, included, loved, respected. So is there a particular geometric grid that you would recommend for that?
Well, in that case was where you work with clear quartz, the navy blue or dark blue stones like sapphire, sodalite, lapis lazuli, and then the clear quartz, the rose quartz for the love. So the rose quartz or pink gemstones, if you want to be really broad, calcite, it could be a pink opal, also a rhodochrosite and rhodonite. I'm trying to think of all the pink gemstones. And then if you wanted to, you could add green. So the pink and green idea is also connecting to the heart chakra. And the heart chakra is opening your heart to give and receive love, to allow love as much as to give love, because many of us are very good at giving love. We want to be loving, we're nurturing, but sometimes we're not as good about receiving and allowing love in our life.
Yes,
so
that's
this
so true.
is right? So pink and green stones for the heart center would be beneficial. And so to answer your geometric grid question, if you wanted to do this, let's say, and create a grid in your bedroom, let's say, you could place any of these crystals I mentioned on your nightstands, on your windowsills, on your the dresser, where you probably have a dresser in the room, bureau drawers, and And then as you place them with intention, decoratively for the intention of, ooh, that's pretty, but also the intention of, I'm placing this crystal here because I want to manifest and stay focused on, and then you fill in the blank on what it is. Then if you want, this is the fun part, you can imagine that you're making an energetic line, a cord, a line of light between the one on your dresser and the one on your nightstand, the one on the other nightstand to the one on the other nightstand, and you can just keep connecting them in your mind's eye, creating a grid that way. Did you follow that? Did that make sense?
That makes perfect sense. I think it's a wonderful idea because there is a crystal mind, I would think, and having that connected that way would make things so much easier and more powerful. What a great idea. That's terrific.
Mm-hmm. And then there are a lot of gemstone stores, like my own, sell grids that are, it's like usually it looks like a mandala. Usually it's a piece of round wood with some kind of wood etching or etching in the wood, or sometimes they're put on laminated plastic and they show some grid lines, and you can make a little altar somewhere and put crystals where the lines hook up on that geometric, pattern. And that's fun too, but I like the one that's a little bit more dramatic and using your imagination in your mind's eye. And it reminds me of, when you can see the lights in a museum that has on their alarm system, and you could see the lights connecting to create it so that if somebody walked through a line, it would set off the alarm.
Yes.
Do you know,
yes.
what I'm talking about?
Mm-hmm.
Can you?
Yeah,
laser light.
Yes.
Yeah. Yes, except it's in your mind's eye, but you're not setting off an alarm. You're activating harmony. You're activating happiness, prosperity, health, well-being, all that's good in life. And then the other way that I've done crystal grids, and this is actually two other ways. One is I've taken people on sacred sites tours around the world, like in Chichen Itza, Mexico, and the Yucatan Peninsula, Uxmal there. I've also been to Peru. We've gone to the Four Corners region. I've taken people to England, and to various locations in England. So where you go to a sacred site, an ancient sacred site, and then what I do is I give each individual to utilize during this meditative experience, usually a clear quartz crystal that is a tabular quartz. That's a flat quartz. And you send vibrations from human to human with that crystal in hand for a specific period of time with the intention to activate the grids of light and love around the planet, to reignite, to reboot, if you will, blessings and harmony on a planetary level.
Oh, that sounds wonderful too. So it's doesn't just have to be around personal intent, but it can be to help the earth and to recreate harmony here, which has certainly been lacking. So
very, very much so to do that. Yeah, and then you could even do that on a smaller scale. You could do that in any given classroom setting, where, if you will, or event setting, where you could establish a grid with people and gemstones and create a geometric formation. If the size of the floor is big enough, where people lie in geometric formations, and then you place the crystals on and around each of the individuals, and then activate a much larger geometric grid. So there's a number of ways to work with grids that are very powerful and positive for the person as well as for the planet.
Yes, that sounds exciting. And now, so we were talking about PK, we were talking about you and your back issue, which has been bothering you for some time. And Margaret, you had a suggestion for PK, and I'm sure our audience would like to hear that too, because I know PK is not the only one dealing with issues like that. So what was your suggestion to her? And also, how can PK work further with her own crystals for her own health?
Okay. Well, what I had suggested was to see if there's anybody in your area that has an amethyst biomat, and go ahead and you said yes, you did, and to go down over and have them turn it on, up to 3 degrees, temperature up 3, which is like 113 degrees, to utilize the infrared crystal grid technology. So that is really cool. Now, let's say you don't have a crystal, you don't have that around, you're not going to buy one of these, whatever it is, it's not available. So you could use your own gemstones and decide how you want to arrange them. I would recommend in your bed or around your bed. So that would be in your pillowcase, perhaps amethyst and black tourmaline, just like is utilized in the biomats and the pillows, mostly amethyst, but also black tourmaline. And if you want, if you think that heating is beneficial for your particular situation, you could use a heating pad for a little bit. I wouldn't go too long with that. But just use crystals and put them in and around your body, not in your body, on or around your body. No sticking the crystals, no eating rocks. Do not eat the rocks. Do not drink water that has rocks in it. No, none of that. No ingestion.
Now, you should in that water with stones in it. I've seen different people that have different stones in a water, and they'll say, well, this gives us energy and it's good to drink. And I'm thinking, that doesn't feel good to me.
No, it's poison. It's literally the minerals leach out into it. When people say, oh, but it's purifying my water, I'm like, do you have a problem with the water that's coming where you are? No, you're poisoning yourself. Please stop. And then you hear that they got sick, and it's like, I don't know what to tell you. But they don't necessarily relate it to that. Same thing with essential oils. They don't know. People don't always put 2 and 2 together that it's because they put crystals or essential oils in their water. We don't need to drink a whole field of lavender or lemons or anything in one glass.
Right.
True?
No,
then I'll get off my soapbox. I'll get off my soapbox. Sorry.
No, I think
that's okay. No, it's important information.
I think that's important. I agree, because there are too many people that want so much to be healthy and whole that if somebody will put something out in front of them and say, oh, it's going to do this for you, they'll try it. And trying it doesn't necessarily mean it's good.
Yeah, plus it looks so pretty. When you see the crystal in the glass, it just looks so pretty. So it's very inviting. So it's very important to know this. Because you're right, especially about some of these crystals and minerals like realgar. That has poison, real poison in it. You have to be careful even just handling it. And so and we learned that from another guest who was on with us talking about that. It's very important to know what you're touching, and more than just the metaphysical aspects of these powerful crystals. So that's good advice, though. I'm glad that you mentioned that again about the biomat for people who might be interested. Is there a company that makes those that you recommend? Because I've heard of biomats before, and I'm always like, okay, which company is the real deal here?
There is. The Richway Fuji Biomat Company. I think they're in Hawaii. It's Richway. So if somebody Googles, if they Google an amethyst biomat, and if somebody that's listening wants to email me, they can email me at info@thecrystalgarden.com, and I can connect them with someone who sells them.
Okay, good.
No problem. Yeah.
Yeah, because there are so many people selling these things. You never know who's real.
Well, that's the problem. And let me ask you another question. The crystal skull. There's a lot of information floating around about the crystal skull, but not everybody understands what it is or what they're trying to achieve from it. I personally have a small pink rose quartz one that's probably about the size of a $50. Does something that size have as much of an impact as one of the larger ones?
So the rose quartz by itself, without it being carved any particular way, is a beautiful thing. And then if it's carved a certain way, and it's and it is something that is attractive to you or whoever owns something like that, then that creates that's where the power is. That's where the intention is. The original real skulls, to the best of my knowledge, are there are 13 of them. They're associated with the 13 tribes of the indigenous cultures. They're supposedly overseen by the Council of 13 Grandmothers of I actually hosted one, which is the one from the Mitchell Hedges skull, maybe back in 2004 or something. The gentleman that is the custodian or the caregiver of this amazing crystal skull came to Palm Beach County, and I hosted an event, and it was really profound. And it's the one that they're referring to in the Raiders of the Lost Ark, that crystal skull from that particular. Now, whether the ones that are being made now, I mean, I have one that I call Baby. I got it when I was in Cornwall on one of my sacred sites journeys, and I would say, I don't even know where it is right now. It's probably a 4 inches maybe, which is fairly large, and it's very clear. And I feel like I think it has power, but not that it's powerful over me. It's how I decide I want to utilize it to align with the indigenous levels of consciousness of the origins of the planet.
Okay. So, you said you had a profound experience with the Mitchell Hedges skull. What happened?
It's just to be in the presence. Like when you meet a celebrity and you feel their energy and you're like, wow. Like there's more than just, do you know what I mean? It's like you feel them energetically radiating, and, it's not like the profound, it's like it's a beautiful, like from a gemstone perspective, the Mitchell Hedges skull is gorgeous. It is in 2 pieces, so that the jaw is a movable jaw, and it is said, legend has it, that I guess it was the Mayan people, because of where it was found, it would be in the Mayan culture, would utilize it for the purposes of oracular divination, to use it as an oracle, and they would have it supposedly in such a way that the jaw could move on its own. It's a little bit far-fetched for me, but I could see it's potentially true. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yes.
There's so many things out there we don't understand. But
yeah. And that's one of them. Yes. Oh, my goodness. Now, there's so many things to working with crystals. What about cleansing them? Do you have a specific way that people should wash their crystals before they use their intention to program them?
I think it's nice. I mean, I think it's good to clear your crystals, or to even, my personal way of doing it, 2 different favorites. One is, actually 3. One is just rinsing it under tap water and putting it onto a clean, dish towel and let it dry or wipe it down. And while I'm doing that, being mindful and intending that as I do this, I'm clearing away anything that's not for my highest good, and only goodness is allowed in my space. The other thing I do is I use my Smudge spray, because that's why I created it, so I wouldn't have to burn sage and have the smoke. But you could use smoking sage, where you burn sage and then let put the crystal through the wafting smoke. But I like to spray it with Smudge spray. And then what's the other way? I said 3. Oh, Marcel Vogel's method, which is, using the pulsed intention on the held breath. You form the intention, and then on the exhalation, on the pulsed exhalation, you clear the crystal with your intention. And he's proven that utilizing biofeedback or, whatever scientific equipment that he utilized. Marcel Vogel was a senior research scientist. I know you ladies know this, but for your listeners, the senior research scientist with IBM for so many years, he invented liquid crystal display. I think he was the one that actually invented the magnetic strips, magnetic disk drives, phosphorescent paints, so many different things. And he had his own lab in San Jose, California, and he had the realization by cutting crystals in a very specific form and polishing them in a very specific way, then utilizing the intention and the pulse breath, you could clear, you could activate, you could do so many things. And he always said, stay focused. When you're clearing and charging crystals, what you're doing is you're infusing them with love and well-being. That was his thing, love and well-being. You're not charging it to get a Mercedes. You're not charging it to get a boyfriend. You're charging it with love and well-being.
Okay.
You got a better chance with that than you do some of the others.
Really?
Many times they were talking about putting out in moonlight. Your stones in moonlight.
Sure, and that's, you know what, that's true. That is a lovely ritual. I that would be unreasonable for the magnitude of the crystals I have. We would just be a major project.
By the time you gather them all up and get them outside, it's almost the next morning. You have to gather them up and bring them back in again. That's why so many people say that's fine if you've got a couple of pieces, but if you've got anything of any size or whatever, that's really a rough one to do.
Yeah. Moonlight, sunlight, full moon, new moon. Bring them to the beach. Don't lose them in the water because it's probably going to return to Mother Earth. But, all those different things. Dip them in salt water is okay. Do not leave them in salt water. Do not leave them in the salt. It will ruin the finish. And then my customers, from a retailer, I've been selling rocks for over 30 years. They come and they say, well, look, my finish is ruined on this polished stone. And I was like, I'm so sorry, sweetheart. Did you bury this in salt? Did you wash it in salt water? And they're like, yeah, I did. And I'm like, because salt is an abrasive. It abrases the polish. So it's still a beautiful gemstone, but it can ruin the finish of the polish.
Okay, so stay away from salt.
Have taken the gemstones and put it in a dish with salt at the base. And they figure that keeps any negativity away. So they put the gemstones on top of that, on top of their corner altar or table. So in essence, what they're doing by putting that salt in there is they're destroying the very thing they're trying to accumulate.
Potentially. I don't know. Potentially. I mean, it depends if it's not really, to the point where it's going to ruin the crystal. Because there's value to that, too. But if you're burying it in it, you can use salt. You can dip it in the salt water or, salt is a very powerful agent for keeping away negative vibrations, many different forms of negative energy, as you probably well know.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
But if they keep it in the salt constantly, that have the container is about 2 inches of salt, and then the stones are put on top of it, and it's been left like that for a number of months.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I'm wondering.
Yeah.
Not my way of doing things, but that if it's working for them, then God bless. Really.
Well,
what the hell am I to say?
we can
probably a lot more methods, but I don't
know.
Well, we're going to take just a very short commercial break, and then we're going to come back and talk about more exciting things with crystals like phantoms and things like that. So stay tuned, everybody. You are listening to Supernatural Girls Radio, and we will be right back.
Are you ready for a new experience of freedom and powerful connection? Would you like a positive, effortless change in your life? Then come to CosmicFusion.com, where we offer the most advanced energy clearing and expansion techniques in the world, with a quantum vortex energy to activate your divine blueprint and life's purpose. When your soul leads the way with cosmic fusion and quantum vortex energy, you can break clear of past difficulties and blocks with the power of the source. With cosmic fusion, the source energy does the work for you. It's easy and effortless. Listen to our free meditation right from our Cosmic Fusion website, the Cosmic Code Meditation. Sign up for one of our interactive webinars today. Come to Cosmic Fusion, www.CosmicFusion.com, to experience an effortless awakening and transformation. Are you ready for an upgrade? Are you ready for a new experience of living in the fifth dimensional magic and powerful connection? Then visit CosmicFusion.com today. CosmicFusion.com.
Your property tax bill. Have you seen it lately? It's frightening. Your property taxes are going up while your home value is going down. It's time to fight back and win. For the real truth about the property tax system, get attorney Pat Quintilian's book, Are You Getting Screwed on Your Property Taxes? How to Find Out and How to Fix It. Attorney Quintillion answers all your questions and gives you the facts you need to fight a property tax bill that is spiraling out of control. You'll also read about what happens to property owners who don't check their property records, only to find out too late they're taxed on square footage, fixtures, and even buildings that they don't own. Is this happening to you? Learn your rights. Buy Attorney Pat Quintillion's book today. Are you getting screwed on your property taxes? How to find out and how to fix it. Available on Amazon.com.
Astridian is a family of cosmetic products with 98% pure ionized minerals. We combine our science with a blend of essential oils to nourish and take care of your skin's health. How does it work? All Astridian products contain the proprietary redox technology, having the capability of simulating an ionic zinc-copper superoxide dismutase effect. This free radical scavenger currently in your body has been diminished by toxins and the daily stresses of life. It is a perfectly balanced mineral complex that all $200 an hour dermatologists, their professors, and ancient history have proven. Redox technology is a process of reducing the skin's oxidation by transferring electrons from a radical state to a stress-free normal condition. Oxidative stress is a form of cellular aging, and as science has proven, a precursor to disease. The free radical theory of aging states that organisms age because cells accumulate free radical damage over time. Damaged cells are not beautiful, but healthy cells are. The Astridian family is presented in 4 different uses that cover unique benefits to your body. They are the Essential Anti-Aging Series, the Multivitamin Series, Sports Series, and Professional Series. Regain your youth with the power of Astridian. Visit www.astridian.com and inquire. Use the code SUPERNATURAL and receive a 10% discount on your first purchase. Astridian, the beauty of being healthy.
Welcome back, everyone, to Supernatural Girls Radio. I'm your host, Patricia Baker. I am here with my co-host, PK, and our terrific guest tonight, Margaret Ann Lembo. Boy, are we ever enjoying this, Margaret. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. What a great show. You just have so much information to give us. And your new book. Tell us about your new book, please.
Oh, thank you. Yes. So my new book is coming out in February. It's available already on Amazon. Crystals Beyond Beginners, Awaken Your Consciousness with Precious Gifts from the Earth. And so it goes deeper into, thank you, that goes deeper into working with crystals and gemstones, so many affirmations, so many different ways to put amulets together, charm bags, crystal grids, as you mentioned, gemstone tinctures, and even careers and professions, and numerology with gemstones and astrology with gemstones. So it's a fun book. It's fun to when I read the final proof before it goes to print, I was like, oh, this came out great. You don't know. You're so inside of a manuscript. How do you know? You know what I mean?
Exactly. Yes, it's so true. Well, I have to tell you that the Smudge spray is something I have got to get from you because I have a very bad reputation here of burning incense and sage in the house and setting off the smoke alarms, and then the fire department comes and never hear the end of it when that happens. So I think you've given me a solution to this ongoing problem. So I would love to get your Smudge spray, so I'll be contacting you about that. But you also have chakra sprays. Now, how do the chakra sprays work? Tell us about that.
Well, chakra sprays are based on the energetics of the physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual aspects of each one of the chakras. So one of my books, The Essential Guide to Aromatherapy and Vibrational Healing, goes into how certain essential oils are beneficial for certain chakras. So, for example, like lemon and coriander and aniseed would be maybe part of a good formula to go at the solar plexus area because that's where the digestive organs are. Whereas it may have some citrine gemstone tincture for enhancing self-confidence and courage because that's also where we increase our self-esteem and have the ability to set boundaries. So by combining the gemstones, their gemstone essences, not actual gemstones in the spray, gemstones, Bach flower essences, sacred site essences that I've collected those myself around the world. Holy waters. Now people give me holy water when they go traveling. They come back and bring me holy water from all over the world. But I've been collecting them for years. And then, of course, the essential oils. And then when you use it with the intention to realign a particular chakra. So because I started with solar plexus, in the idea of that one is, well, if you're having a lot of digestive issues and you're having a hard time and feeling overwhelmed by life, which is meaning that you're not digesting life well, and you also maybe have a challenge with some self-esteem issues and maybe feel not as worthy as some of your colleagues, using solar plexus chakra spray with intention, with the power of positive thought, so you have to do your part. Just spraying yourself isn't going to do it.
Right.
It's a combination of intention, and it helps you realign using the olfactory system as well as the vibrational energy of the Bach flowers and the gemstones and everything that I mentioned.
It just sounds wonderful. Now, all of these things, can they be found on your website so people can purchase them?
Yes, on thecrystalgarden.com. In fact, I have many. I have quite a long line in the Crystal Garden brand. And so you can also find it on margaretannlembo.com, but it will redirect you over to my, store where I actually sell them. The brand itself is housed at thecrystalgarden.com. Yeah, so I have sprays for all the but not all the archangels, 5 of the archangels. I have some saints, St. Joseph, St. Francis, Jesus the Christ. There's quite a few. And people love them. They love them, and it really helps them with their life. In fact, Smudge and Spray is so popular. Thank goodness. I'm knocking wood here.
I'm buying it. I'm going to place my order.
We had to come out with an 8-ounce refill because people were like, I want it by the gallon. It's like, no, you're not going to want it by the gallon. But now we have the 2-ounce, 4-ounce, and an 8-ounce refill bottle, too.
It's terrific. Oh, gosh. Well, now, getting back to crystals, we've heard a lot about phantoms. Can you talk to us about phantom crystals? What are they? What are they used for?
I'm not surprised that you went to that because it's a crystal ghost.
Of course. You have to hear about this.
I know. Well, phantom quartzes are gemstone quartz crystals where it looks like there's a smaller phantom or apparition of a crystal inside, lower down at the bottom part, usually at the bottom, but also it could be at different levels. And so when you're looking at it, you're like, oh, look, it looks like you can see another crystal inside of there, and you have to move it around to keep seeing it because it's not super obvious, unless you get a really expensive one. And the way you use this really has to do with, you could use it to help you with remembering past lives so you can learn from the past and grow. When it's a chlorite phantom quartz where it's green inside, that's beneficial for balance and success, to connect with nature, to see patterns, growth patterns. That's a really good one, is to observe the patterns of our lives. We go through 6 cycles. Life is cyclical. And so we go and we realize we learn this much, and then we may pause for a while and be in that state of integrating what we've learned. And then we grow some more. Well, if it was a big growth energy, where it was a very major change, which taught us a lot of lessons, that crystal, if you will, is showing that it helps you remember that you didn't always recognize all of this information. You didn't always understand all of this, but because of perhaps transformational growth spurts, you now understand it. You now have the realizations, and you can integrate them and use them in your life, and it can help you with your behaviors and releasing those patterns of the past so the issues are healed once and for all.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Now, here's a question that just came in from a listener. She wants to know, are there any crystals that would help enhance her ability to speak with people who have passed? So are there crystals specific to psychic mediumship?
so of the gemstones that are, yes, there are, that you could work with for in all of the clairs. I call them my good friends, the 6 clairs. The clairvoyance, the ability to see; clairaudience, the ability to hear; claircognizance, the ability to know; clairsentience, the feeling, the knowing through feeling; and then, of course, clairolfaction, smell; and clairgustation, taste. And utilizing all 6 of those beyond the physical normal qualities that we have. So that was sort of a conundrum, but they are normal within us, those senses, all 6 senses. Then you could utilize, to enhance all of those, you would use something like a selenite, clear quartz.
Oh, okay.
Kyanite. Kyanite would be good. Lapis lazuli, apophyllite would be very good. Herkimer diamonds. Let's see, celestial crystals. Fluorite would be beneficial.
What about celestite?
More.
Is celestite used for that, or is...
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah. Celestite, any of the blue crystals, pastel blues, blue lace agate, angelite, celestite, blue chalcedony. These are all beneficial for opening your consciousness to hear, sense, feel, know, smell, taste, and what that could come through, because also in that you may get a message from the divine. You may get a message from a loved one on the other side. I'm a medium, but I'm not an on-demand medium. I'm a medium when it's important. If I need to know something, then maybe my mother will talk to me. If I'm with a client and I feel like I'm getting a message in some regard that feels like it could be, a grandfather energy, I will say that, But otherwise, it's just a matter of having it as part of everyday life, and again, make life easy. Keep it simple. Keep it easy. Let that inspiration flow through. Mm-hmm.
Yes, we like easy. We definitely do. Now, somebody just also wrote in, and she said, I'm on the road a lot. Rarely am I at home. What about a necklace or something like that for chakra balancing? What would you suggest?
Well, there are actually many different types of pendants that actually are chakra balancing pendants, jewelry pieces. So you could get a clear quartz point that has 7 gemstones on it, or it could be a cabochon that has all the different colored gemstones, 1 of 7 one for each chakra. Or you can just choose any crystal or jewelry pendant that you love. I love diamonds, so I wear diamonds. That's what I love.
Oh, I do too.
Yeah, that's what I love. That's what I'm wearing, whether it's a necklace or rings or whatever. And I wear other gems as well. But so for me, I just, I go with a diamond, and that's my intention, to stay balanced, to stay aligned. But this is where I unsell my books. Which is, it doesn't matter. Just pick the rock or gemstone that you love, that looks so pretty that you're going to look at it and then make a matching vibrational intention that anytime I wear this, anytime I look at it, anytime I work with it, that it is going to, and then you fill in the blank. And in the case of being on the road and traveling and wanting to stay aligned, make it the intention. You could use black tourmaline, and that would keep you grounded and safe and aligned too. You could go, so many gemstones are good for aligning the chakra system. So it's a matter of matching intention to the pendant or jewelry that you want to wear. Like I love to wear the bracelets, the gemstone bracelets. We sell such beautiful ones. And so it's hard for me not to take them home with me. But, you can choose a different rock each day. You may just say, today I'm going to wear my rose quartz. Tomorrow maybe I'll want to wear my moonstone. And why? Because the rose quartz day, I might feel like I want to feel loved and I want to feel loving. And the moonstone day, it might be I want to align my energy with the feminine vibration or with my stronger intuition. So there's so many reasons that all these different gemstones work in so many ways. And I really do go into it quite thoroughly in Crystals Beyond Beginners, and even in my first book, Chakra Awakening, and in the second book, The Essential Guide to Crystals, Minerals, and Stones, with 160 rocks in there and really pretty pictures.
Oh, I love the pictures. Now, what about moldavite? There's a lot that's been said about that. What do you have to say about moldavite?
So moldavite is basically glass that was created because a meteorite slammed into the planet in, I want to say, Czechoslovakia, or in that region, Czech Republic. And so it's like it's a tektite. It's beneficial for people who maybe are into ETs, extraterrestrials. Oh, for you guys, there you go. That's what you love, right?
Yes, we do.
Then that's your rock. Go with moldavite, the out-of-this-world kind of connection. It's great for astrologers because it's also about being open to the various ways that, out of this, it's very Uranian, it's very like thinking out of the box and sudden information, sudden awareness. Here, I just Googled through my own Googled. I just searched through my own document to find, here's an example of, may I read a little bit from this new book for a second?
It'd be very interesting, yes.
So moldavite, are you awakened and aware? Contemplate the vastness of the cosmos and the part you play in the vast scheme of life. Think beyond the ordinary and see the greater perspective. Make it your intention to improve your self-motivation. Explore the outer limits of your core beliefs and embrace concepts that you perceive as far outside your normal view. And an affirmation to work with, because every rock that I go into everywhere, everything I do has a matching affirmation. And this one is, I believe in unlimited potentials and possibilities. I am in touch with the limitless nature of all life. I remember my soul's contracts and the bigger plan for this life's experiences.
Oh, that's lovely. I like that a lot. Yeah, I mean, the moldavite stone got a lot of press, maybe 20 years ago or so. It was talked about. But what about meteorites in general? Because there are meteorites on the market. Is that something that you've worked with before?
Sure. In fact, I still sell them. The ones that are most common are Indochinite, if that's even the right way to say it, or Indochinite. I think it's Chinite. Tektite. It's a tektite, and they are dark black. And I am going to be a little bit irreverent here. Because of the way it forms and what it looks like, I call it extraterrestrial poop. A little irreverence every once in a while is funny, right?
That's funny. Yes, it's funny. Yes. Well, I was just wondering if you've ever experienced anything unusual in working with a meteorite, since they're not from here.
I stay away from them personally. I'm too sensitive to the energy. For some reason, it's not like my favorite to work with, either tektite, the moldavite, or the Indochinite one. But it is great if you're needing extra energy around maybe inventing something or seeing something from a different perspective, and you need to realign your ability to be in flow and accept information and ideas, that come from out of nowhere. Because basically, tektites are because of a meteorite coming out of not out of nowhere, but out of the galaxy, out of our, I don't know if galaxy is the right word for that, but out of our normal range and hitting the earth. And then what it does, because of the impact, it creates glass. It's like in a way, it's just same like obsidian is glass. It's just naturally occurring glass. So these are essentially glass.
Yeah, it's fascinating material, that's for sure. And I remember many years ago, I had an opportunity to speak with the medicine man, Mad Bear Anderson, and we were talking about the moon rocks. And he was saying how we had moon rocks here on this planet that were brought back from the mission, and he said they were never supposed to be brought here. And he was actually contacted, him and several other medicine people, by the government because they had these moon rocks that were behind glass in one of their facilities, and the things started to grow. And it scared them because they didn't know what to do with these things. They just kept growing until they were going to break through the glass. So they called Mad Bear Anderson and a few other people and talked to them about it. And Mad Bear said, they never should have left the moon. That's where they were supposed to stay. So it was a very interesting story. And again, it speaks to the fact that these rocks are alive. I mean, they have a consciousness. They are something we can work with our intent, but they have their own consciousness too, right?
To a certain degree, I think they must. They have a vibration. I don't know if consciousness is the word that I would choose, but they definitely have an energetic vibration, a signature that I can, that's my perception at this point, is that they match with whatever our intention is to go with them. So they could be used for good and also not so good too, unfortunately. I mean, they amplify our intention.
Mhm. Yes, they do. They do. Now, going back to the Vogel crystals, the ones that were actually carved or cut, I should say, by Marcel Vogel, and he's long passed, but there are people that have studied under him or studied with people who knew how he cut these crystals. How would somebody be sure that they're getting the real thing? Again, with so many different possibilities here, what would you advise our audience on that?
I haven't looked it up in a long time, so I'm going to you're going to hear my little fingers. If I could find it, Psychic Research Lab, I'm not going to do it while we're on the air, but I would like to recommend that they look for somebody that's associated with the Psychic Research Lab, his labs in San Jose, California. Mm-hmm. There used to be a gentleman in Central Florida that was his protege. As far as I know, I don't know what he's doing these days. I have no idea. I haven't even looked, seen where he is or if he's around or anything. So if it's very, very expensive, it's likely the real thing. If it's not so expensive, then it's potentially just Vogel-like, and there's nothing wrong with that either. Mm-hmm. Marcel never actually carved them, or excuse me, like I just repeated what you said, that he never cut them. He wasn't the cutter, but he gave the specific dimensions to Brazilian cutters in Brazil as to how to cut them. He gave them the specifications. I don't think that he ever did crystal cutting, to my awareness. I only trained with him for like 3 or 4 days. It was not very long. It was a weekend, and it was back in like the year before he passed away. And so I got a flavor of being around him, and we had dinner together. I was very blessed that of someone who used to be a friend of mine was very connected with him. And so because of that, I got, to vicariously connect with Marcel, and grateful, very grateful for that understanding, because it's another layer, because it's scientifically been documented how working with the pulse breath and the intention can really transform certain things. He even was able to make wine age faster. He was written up in the wine magazines by oh, no kidding, utilizing. Yeah, and I'm gonna paraphrase, and forgive me if anybody's listening that knows more than me about this. Please forgive me. But basically, it's like taking a Vogel cut crystal and having I want to say almost like a PVC pipe that spirals around it, and then having the fluid that needed to age, the wine that needed to age, go through that, and it would go around the crystal, and the crystal would have been previously charged with intention, and it worked. So I don't know. I think that there was a whole technology. Yeah, I think there's a lot that we could have continued to have benefited from if he was still on the planet.
Oh, definitely. He was a genius, that's for sure, and he did think outside the box all the time. And you're so fortunate to have worked with him, even if it was for 3 days. That's still a blessing. That's great. That's just great. Yeah. Oh my goodness.
What about the stone saffronite? Someone came across that. It's called saffronite. It's a stone. It looks somewhat like the malvalite, but she's been collecting it in the desert. It's a saffronite, and she said it's a I'm going to have to spell it, Cintamani. And when you hold it out, it looks like the moldavite as far as like a stone, but when you put it to the light, you can see right through it, like there's a clearness that goes through it.
I don't know what that is. I mean, moldavite you can see through. It's translucent.
Right, and this has the same effect to it, but the person that has been bringing these out, it's saffronite is what she calls it.
I've never heard of it.
Yeah, they're like
not on my radar yet. I'm pretty connected with my rock friends, vendors and rock dealers all over.
Yeah, the last year or so she came out with these. She's been collecting them and has different information on it. I'll be happy to send this little note to you.
Sure. And where are they being mined?
Oh, they're not mined. They're found in the desert here outside of Arizona and New Mexico.
Oh, okay. Well, it's still in some. That's like a type of mining with you're taking crystals from the earth. Sorry, yeah. They're not blasting any mountains, is what you're saying.
They're like stones on the ground. This person has been finding them and has been bringing them together for other people. This is the information that goes with it. I'll be happy to send you the information that she's passed on.
Sure, I'll take a look at it. Thanks.
Yeah,
sure, thank you.
That's great. And we'll post it on our Facebook page too, PK. So make sure you get me a copy of that, and I'll put it so everybody can see it. It sounds fascinating.
Yeah, it is. And she has had got a little cage that she purchased that you can open up and put the stone in, so that you could wear it for the energies that come from this. And it supposedly deals with emotional blockages, etc. So that's why I'll send it to you. It's better than trying to give you bits and pieces of it. But it's supposed to be considered an amplifier of the new wave of light.
Wow, that sounds so interesting. Yeah. Well, thank you for bringing that up, PK. That's a new one.
I've got to follow through because I don't always understand much of anything. Everything is new to me like this, dealing with the stones.
I know. I'll tell you what.
Diamonds
yes,
well.
really. You and I both, we're big jewelry lovers. We love gems. We love crystals. We could spend like our last dime on this stuff, could we not? And it's just so much fun.
Much
fun. And
do.
Yeah, right. And there you are out in Tucson, where you have that enormous gem show every year. So that must be very interesting.
Oh, it's really good. I lock myself in the house during that gym show. I don't allow me to leave.
That's probably wise.
I know it's wise.
That's probably wise. Yes, exactly. Now, Margaret, let me ask you a question, because some people have said that size with crystals really doesn't matter. Some of the smallest ones can be the most powerful and impactful, and some of the larger ones not so much. What's your opinion on that?
I can agree with that, because you can wear a tiny little diamond or a small piece of rose quartz, or it could be that you have a huge crystal. I think that bigger sometimes emanates more powerfully, but I don't know. I think I'm going to go back and forth on answering. I'm going to be a Libra and say yes and no.
I am a Libra.
Are you?
Yeah.
I can't be convinced that sometimes it depends on the rock, the energy that's putting off. It's putting. I think it really depends.
Yeah, just depends on the crystal or the rock. What about some of the other more unusual stones that our audience might not have heard of before that you've enjoyed working with? Can you share some about that?
Okay. Well, that's a hard one to answer because I don't know what people have experienced, like apophyllite. I don't know if everybody knows about apophyllite.
No, tell us about that. I've never heard of that.
Apophyllite is from Pune, India, and it's in the zeolite family, and it has it comes in clear, quartz. It looks like clear quartz. Like at first glance, if you see a big, cluster of apophyllite, that's the white variety, you might think, oh, it's clear quartz, but the geometric formation is different, and it's not. And actually, it has a little bit more bling to it. But it also grows in like a minty green. And stilbite, which is a zeolite also and often grows with apophyllite, is also a nice energy, as well as scolecite. Scolecite is a great gemstone too. It's a white, and the striations often look like angel wings to me. Like the way that the striations are. It's really good to help with remembering your dreams, and it also opens to divine inspiration. For the person that was asking about energy of being able to tune into someone on the other side that wants to bring a message to a loved one.
Yes,
Scolecite would be a good one. Yeah, they could utilize that to awaken spiritual consciousness so that you really can process the information and hopefully not have your own filter involved,
Yeah. Okay. So scolecite sounds like a fascinating one. Now, is that one that you would recommend people put under their pillow at night to help them remember their dreams?
Yes, that would be a very nice one. Amethyst would be good. Blue calcite has been beneficial for myself and a couple of friends. We've experimented with blue calcite and found that to be beneficial. But amethyst is like the go-to for dream recall. But even Herkimer diamonds are beneficial with dream interpretation and dream clarity.
That would make sense.
I've just gotten interested in the Herkimer diamond the last couple of years. At that gym show I went to, I got a pretty large piece, and it was wire wrapped, and I use it when I'm trying to concentrate and do some writing, and I find that's been somewhat helpful for me. Of course, my Libra imbalance, anything's helpful.
Do you have a Libra imbalance? No, you don't. I have a Herkimer diamond right here in my hand. I have a big one it's quite large, and I was playing with it during the whole time we've been talking because it's got great rainbows inside of it. Really pretty rainbows. Yeah.
I've got 3 different ones. One's probably the size of a nickel, one's the size of a quarter, and then the other one's about the size of a silver dollar.
Nice. Very nice.
Mhm.
Let's see, I'll put it on my ruler. This baby is about 2.5 inches long, so it's a big one.
Mm-hmm.
That is.
Yeah.
Now, are there any crystals that you should not be sleeping with or not have under your pillow?
Good idea.
Well, I don't like to put. I like to put them in the pillowcase first of all, because under the pillow, they could fall off the bed and it could crack. It could. I'd just rather put it in the pillowcase. I don't know. I don't think that there's anything negative. Because everything's intention. So unless it's a poisonous rock, but if it's in a pillowcase, it should be okay. Like malachite has, it leaches chemicals or minerals that aren't for ingestion, for sure. So there's just different stones that I would use almost anything, though, to be honest with you. I just necessarily wouldn't fall asleep with it in my hand. Clear quartz, you can, any of the quartz family, you can fall asleep with it in your hand if you want to. But, you're also at risk for it dropping off of the bed or, your cat playing kitty hockey with it.
Oh, that's cute. What about using crystals in wands? I've seen a lot of wands that have been made, and some of them are quite lovely. What about that? Does that work well for using your intention and combining it with a wand?
If people love to work with a wand, sure, they're beautiful. That's not a personal favorite of mine, but I like the way they look. They look lovely. And I carry them at the store, sure. I mean, like for the lady that was asking the question about chakra balancing, you could get a wand that's made of clear quartz and has each of the 7 stones on it and have that as part of your carry kit, when you travel. So it's just a matter of combining, if you will, combining of different gemstones. Often there are various gemstones in a wand, or as part of a wand. Sometimes it's made out of silver with the crystals on or around it. Sometimes it's made of the wand is a gemstone, and they sometimes attach other gemstones to it. But you can also get a wand, like I like working with wands that are just pure crystal of some sort or rock. So whether it's a lapis lazuli wand, a clear quartz wand, a smoky quartz, a rutilated quartz, it could be any gemstone, but it's just all one piece of one type of gemstone.
Right. That must be gorgeous. That must be gorgeous. Yeah. I mean, there's just so many ways, so many items to work with and purchase. But like you said, it's what you're drawn to that makes the difference. So if somebody were to visit your store, the Crystal Garden in Southeast Florida, then you would just basically say just select it based on your intuition, right, and how you feel.
Yeah, by what you're attracted to, what looks pretty. That's what we tell those people. I mean, I do refer them to my book. We do tell people, like, we do have signs with each of the stones to say what it's typically good for, but it's like a couple of sentences out of my book that has maybe a whole 2.5 pages written about that one gemstone. So, it's just go with what you're attracted to, and come to sunny South Florida. We're in the Palm Beaches. We're the Conscious Living Store of the Palm Beaches. Come on down.
Yes,
hey.
I know. Really, what a great place to visit.
A lot of people would like to be doing that.
Oh yeah. It's time to break away from the cold and come visit you and all your beautiful crystals. Oh, my goodness. Now, when you buy these, Margaret, for your store, are there any specific places in the world other than Brazil that you go to find these crystals? I mean, how about some of the Eastern European countries? Do they have special crystals of interest?
So the gemstones, the way that I buy my gemstones are from a select group of about, maybe it's 6 or 8 gemstone dealers. I call them my rock dealers. And they source them from all over the world. They come from China. They come from India. They come from Brazil, Uruguay. They come from Madagascar, Morocco, Mexico, the United States. Our Arkansas, the Wichita Mountain Range in the Hot Springs area outside of Little Rock is the quartz capital of the United States. So we have quite a bit of, the whole planet is quite a bit of quartz. But, we have the rose quartz from the South Dakota area in the Dakotas. In the Southwest, we have I want to say it's Arizona or New Mexico, the Bisbee mines, where there's a lot of copper and malachite and azurite. The selenite in Mexico is gorgeous, but there's selenite from all over. Like, there's so many different, the whole entire planet. So I don't go to the Tucson show because I would have to get a tractor trailer, a huge amount of money to do that. So I leave it to my dealers that I've been working with, some of them for all 30 years I've been in business. So I'm grateful that they source and find the best, and I trust them to buy the real rocks and not copies or fakes, or if they're dyed, I know they're
Wonderful.
dyed. They're truthful about the information that they when they purchased.
Yeah, that's so helpful. You've got a good support system. What about shungite? That's a Russian mineral that's kind of interesting.
Well, it's very popular. A lot of people are very much into it. That's the gemstone I alluded to earlier, where people they feel like they have to put shungite inside their water because they feel like they need to purify their water. And to me, we don't know how these gemstones are treated in order to make them look shiny or pretty, or to make them solidified, because so often they're soft, and they'll break apart. So they do things to them in order to stabilize the gemstone. And so shungite is one of the gemstones that people are gravitating to, that they feel like this is the be-all, end-all to cleansing negativity, to keep away, and for protection. It's one of the many black gemstones that are good for that. You could also use black obsidian. You could use snowflake obsidian, all the obsidians that are dark colored. You can use black tourmaline as a favorite of mine for deflecting negativity. There's jet, there's black onyx. So there's a lot that work in similar fashion as shungite.
Okay. And now one of my favorite gemstones is alexandrite because of the change in color. You too, Humpy K?
I had some years ago, I had a variety of about 40 different gemstones that my husband had given me in rings, and some of them were quite large stones. And unfortunately, somebody had light figures one day, and when I was gone, wiped out everything I had.
Oh, no.
And I'll never forget, because the one that was the most precious looking and always felt good was the alexandrite. And it was quite large.
Yeah.
And I'm
sorry, you had lost
sick of
that
it.
one.
Even years later. It's been 30-some years, and I'm still uptight about it.
I bet. I would be, too. But now, what are the magical qualities of the alexandrite? Because it does have that dual personality.
I truly don't know anything about alexandrite. Sorry. That's one I don't know anything about.
Oh, gosh.
I don't even carry it at my store. I rarely do.
It's hugely expensive, that's for sure.
Yeah, it is.
Right
I'd
up there
have
with
to do
diamonds.
research. I'd have to research how it's grown, what are the chemical components, what are the minerals, I would have to research, to be honest with you. That one I don't know.
What about
diopside? Doing all the research. We just look at what's pretty.
Yeah, we just look at the pretty stuff. What about diopside? It's very close to emerald, but it's much deeper. It's much deeper green, right?
Are you saying diopside or dioptase?
Diopside.
Oh, okay, because dioptase looks like an emerald. Diopside is a denser material, to my recollection. And the dark green, though, they're both dark green. So what is the question in regard to that?
I was just wondering, I was just thinking, I wonder what that would be good to be used for. Are there any particular qualities about that stand out?
So, sure. I mean, all green stones. So we'll put it if it's the green variety of diopside, because they do range in colors. Then it would be like emerald, like green aventurine, like jade, like malachite. They're beneficial for good health, well-being, good luck, good fortune, prosperity, abundance, good business, entrepreneurial skills, working with the energy of even Archangel Raphael. I've associated which archangels are beneficial with certain gemstones, and, you can call in the healing energy of Raphael with any green stone, but also diopside, dioptase, which really looks like an emerald. It's a little bit rarer, and also, of course, emerald, and green tourmaline, which is also known as verdolite. Good stuff. Love the green one.
Beautiful stuff. Well, Margaret, we're coming, unfortunately, to the end of our time together, and I don't want it to end because we're learning so much from you. My goodness. But please, again, tell everybody the name of all your books and also your website so people will know how to reach out to you and consult with you about what they should buy from your store. And again, so it's thecrystalgarden.com. We are coming to Christmas. It's time to gift ourselves, right?
That's right.
Yes, it is.
Oh, yeah. And so, you could go to visit me at margaretannlembo.com. I have a great YouTube channel. It's youtube.com/Margaret Ann Lembo. My books include The Animal Totems and the Gemstone Guardian Kingdom, Aromatherapy and Essential Guide to Aromatherapy and Vibrational Healing. Let me mention some I haven't mentioned. I have a line of decks, the Angels and Gemstone Guardians cards, Archangels and Gemstone Guardians cards, Masters, Mystics, and Saints and Gemstone Guardians cards, Crystal Intentions Oracle. I should probably stop because we're going to go over time if I keep mentioning all my books. I have a lot of books. I really do.
I want people to know they can reach out to you and get their questions answered and buy the right crystals for their intention. And again, Margaret, thank you so much for coming and joining us on the show. Next week, everybody, we're back to dreaming. And how does it affect your family? We're going to find out. In the meantime, we'll see you on the Blue Highway. Good night, everyone.
Good night.
Good night.
Thanks for listening. Tune in next week for another radio adventure with Supernatural Girls.
Hey, PK, you lasted.
Yes, I did. I had a pillow stuck behind my back, my feet up in the chair, and I kept saying, a couple of times I started to fade out. I thought, nope, I'm going to stay.
Oh, you did a good job.
Good.
Well, I'm glad.
Oh,
I'm glad. Yeah, it was fun. It was a lot of fun. She was a good guest.
Yeah. I was going to ask you about something. Somebody asked me the other day that they are supernatural girls ourselves in the vehicle, supposedly us.
Yes.
Send me a copy of that. I've got and a couple pictures of you. I've got a friend that wants to see if they can't superimpose our faces on that.
Okay. I'll just send you the large size graphic. Yeah, that'll be funny. Yeah, I'll send it over. Well, look, you have a good night. You rest and take care of yourself, okay?
Well, honey, that's exactly where I'm going. As soon as I hang up, I'm going to bed. I love you.
All right. I love you too, honey.
Talk to you later.
Okay.
Bye-bye, sweetie.
Lots of love. Take care.